Hello everybody, welcome to my end of 2017 best of 2017 list. I got about 10 honorable mentions, and then I'm going to count down my top 20 favorites of the year. There's a lot that I love this year, so this is a longer list than I was thinking of making, but you know, whatever. One of the best years in recent memory for film. There's been a lot of good stuff this year, so I was not at all disappointed in what 2017 had brought me. So this is going to be kind of a long video because I got a lot to say, so let's get right to it. So for my honorable mentions, I have Logan Lucky, Murder on the Orient Express, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond, Split, It Comes at Night, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Wonder Woman, Baby Driver, A Ghost Story, and Brawl in Cell Block 99. Logan Lucky was very fun. It is a fun movie though, so I didn't put it in my top 20 because it's not a great movie, but it's a really great fun movie, and it's not perfect, but I still like it a lot. Murder on the Orient Express I liked a whole lot. Some people didn't, but I found it to be really enjoyable. I had a good time the whole time. I'm a big fan of the whodunit genre, so it wasn't a problem for me to like stay interested the whole time. Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond was my favorite documentary this year, about Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman in the movie Man on the Moon. Very, very good. Split, M. Night Shyamalan's return to form. Really liked this movie. I saw it I think I actually saw it back 2016, but I know it was a 2017 release. But really like that one. It Comes at Night was great. Kind of slow though. I didn't have a lot of problems with it, but it is kind of slow, and that kind of is what put it a little lower on my list. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 I really loved. I like it more than the first one. I was confident that'd make the top 10 this year because I saw it when it came out pretty early, but it's been topped since. Wonder Woman I liked a lot when I saw it. Since then, I've kind of thought about it, and I've kind of liked it a little less, but I haven't watched it and confirmed that, so for now, it still stays in my honorable mentions. Baby Driver, it's pretty low to some of you. I know a lot of people have this in their top 10s, definitely top 20s, but for me, I loved it. It's a really fun time, but it doesn't hold up too great on rewatches. It's not flawless. I think they could use a little bit more character development in it, but I do love it a lot, and I don't want to talk bad about it, but I do love that movie. A Ghost Story, oh, so good, fantastic. This is a movie that a lot of people probably hate, but I thought it was phenomenal. I loved every second of it. It's very heartbreaking and real, and everybody should check that out. Brawl in Cell Block 99 is Vince Vaughn's best performance ever, easily. He does a great job in this movie. He's so great as this character, and you really believe him as this character, and it's as well a great movie. Alright, now we're going to start the top 20, so here we go. My number 20 is Geralds Game. Carla Junio, I think that's how you pronounce it, gave one of the best performances of the year in this pretty overlooked movie. It was so good. It was phenomenal. One of the best Stephen King adaptations ever. She deserves an Oscar nomination. She was absolutely phenomenal, and she pretty much carried the whole movie on her back because it was a lot of just her. She plays a character who's chained to a bed for most of the movie. You learn about her now and her past, and you see the whole movie pretty much through that character, and she did a phenomenal job. My number 19 is Good Time. This is Robert Pattinson's best film, easily. His best performance in a film, easily. He did a great job, and the Safdie brothers directed a phenomenal movie that really blew me away, and it just does things that you wouldn't see in mainstream movies. Another A24 film, which A24 is constantly phenomenal, so it wasn't really a surprise there. Yeah, if you have not seen this one, definitely check it out. It's a really fast-paced thriller that it really shocked me. My number 18 is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This is a movie that you really had no idea what was coming, because it really took turns. Right when you think you know where it's going, it went somewhere else. And that's all I can ask for from a movie these days, is just to be unpredictable. That's phenomenal. I love it when things do that. When things don't go the way you expect them to, it's great, because then you can really care about characters and fear for their lives, because you really don't know if they're going to live or die, well, yada yada yada, anything. yeah, it was great. Frances McDormand was great. Sam Rockwell, I think, should get a Best Supporting Actor nomination because he was phenomenal in this movie as well. Also, Woody Harrelson was great too. My number 17 is War for the Planet of the Apes. Now, when I saw this movie, I was not a fan of the previous two. I hadn't even seen Rise, and I was not a fan of Dawn because I saw it and I just didn't like it when I saw it. But I saw this and it really blew me away, and I was like, I should go back and rewatch them. And now I'm a fan of both of those. Yeah, it was. A lot of people are like, oh, it's not a war, but just shut up. It's a great movie. Woody Harrelson, another great performance from him in this movie. Absolutely great film. The perfect ending to this trilogy. My number 16 is Wind River. Now this is another movie that's sort of in the same vein as Three Billboards, in the sense that a girl is murdered in a gruesome way, and it's sort of about in Wind River is about the solving of this case, but Three Billboards is about kind of the people around the case. I saw them back to back because I watched Wind River at home and then went to go see Three Billboards, so I'm always comparing them in my mind. But I did end up liking Wind River a bit more. Jeremy Renner, this is definitely his best performance yet. Elizabeth Olsen, probably hers too. This is one of those movies that kind of knocks you flat, especially at the end when some text goes up on the screen and you read kind of something about the theme of this movie, and it really shocks you. Also, it has one of the best ending scenes, not exactly at the ending, but towards the ending. There's a scene that takes place outside of a trailer involving a gunfight. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. For that scene alone, it's phenomenal. Probably one of my favorite scenes of the year. My number 15 is All the Money in the World. Now, I saw this movie less than a week ago, and it has climbed up this list really fast because I really, really enjoyed it. I found the story to be really, really fascinating, as well as all the performances were fantastic, especially Michelle Williams, who is always damn near perfect. She's a great actress. She should get nominated this year. She's phenomenal. Mark Wahlberg was also great. Yeah, this was just one of those ones that it's over 2 hours and it doesn't feel like it because you're just so interested in everything that's going on. My number 14 is It. Now, when I first saw this movie, I absolutely loved it. I adored all the kid actors. They were fantastic. I loved the story. I loved the sense of friendship in it. It really, really appealed to me. I loved every second of it. It's not super scary, but that's fine to me as long as it's a great movie. I really love this movie. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise was, of course, fantastic. Finn Wolfhard was probably the standout to me. Also, Jack Grazer, who plays Eddie. They were both phenomenal, as well as Bill, of course. But yeah, it's kind of rare for a horror movie or a horror genre movie to make it this high in my list, but this one was an exception because it is really, really good, so check it out if you haven't. My number 13 is The Disaster Artist. Now, I've been a fan of The Room for like a year, maybe a little bit more, so when I heard that all these great actors that I like James Franco, Paul Scheer, Seth Rogen, Alison Brie, all these people were coming together to make a movie about it, I was so excited, and I was hoping I'd get, you know, this movie that makes fun of the original or pokes fun at it and shows like the wacky behind the scenes. But what I got was a really emotional and heartfelt story about friendship between two people trying to make it in Hollywood, and I found that wonderful. I loved every second of it. It's not super long either, so you watch it and like you want it to keep going because it's so funny and it's so fun to watch. You don't need to have seen The Room. Everybody is saying you don't have to see The Room to go see this movie, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps without a doubt. If I hadn't seen The Room, I saw this with someone who hadn't seen The Room, and he enjoyed it just fine. But me and my other friend who had seen it, we loved it, and I think that if you want to go see this movie, go see The Room first. My number 12 is Get Out. Now, when I first saw Get Out, it really floored me. I had seen a commercial early on that I didn't like a lot, so when everybody's like, oh, Get Out is phenomenal, go see it, I rushed out to see it, of course, and I wasn't expecting too much, but it was really, really good. One of the best performances of the year from Daniel Kaluuya, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He should get nominated for an Oscar. He does a fantastic job. I rewatched this movie a couple weeks ago recently to see if it still holds up, and it definitely does. My number 11 is Call Me By Your Name. Now, this is another one I saw 2 days ago that has popped up on my list, and there's one more that I recently saw that has made my top 10 that I'll tell you guys about in a minute. But Call Me By Your Name is a phenomenal film, one of the most romantic movies of the year, and it's tragically relatable in its characters. It's a must-see, really. My favorite part of this movie has got to be like just the setting of it. Italy is just beautiful, and it makes you want to live there, and you feel like you're there, really. You really do. It just made me want to go to Italy really badly, and it was a lovely film. Definitely check it out if you haven't. I know I'm saying that for all of these, but all of these you should see. My number 10 is Stronger. Now, this is a movie that I was really looking forward to because Jake Gyllenhaal is my favorite actor, and there was a lot of buzz about it that it's really good, and Gyllenhaal gave a great performance, and he 100% did. He deserves an Oscar nomination for this. He's not going to get one because they're going to overlook it, of course. But he's absolutely phenomenal in this film, one of his best performances, and it's so hard to say if it's his best or not, but just because he's done so much great work. Like, all of his performances are phenomenal to me. This is a really emotional, kind of heartbreaking movie about the Boston bombing and a guy who gets his legs blown off, and what him and his family go through as a result of that. It pretty much transcends all cliches of what you would expect when seeing that movie. It's phenomenal. It brought tears to my eyes. It was beautiful. Please see it if you haven't. My number 9 is The Big Sick. I really adored The Big Sick. So what happened was in one day I went to go see War for the Planet of the Apes, Baby Driver, and then I had plans to go see The Big Sick, and that fell through and I didn't get to see it in theaters. So in the last couple months when I've been trying to catch up on all my movies of 2017, I watched this one on my computer, and it blew me away. It was such a lovely story about two people who fall in love, and through a strange circumstance, the main character, the man played by Kumail Nanjiani, has to develop a relationship with this girl's parents. It's a really fun, it's hilarious, it's really, really funny, and that's so refreshing to go to a comedy and it's funny these days. It's great, definitely see it. It's a great movie to watch with someone you love. My number 8 is A Cure for Wellness. Now, this probably isn't going to make a lot of people's top 10 because a lot of people did not like this movie, but I absolutely loved it. People found it to be kind of disturbing, slow, and predictable. I didn't find it to be predictable. That might just be me because I know a lot of people did. I, however, loved it. It's a beautiful looking movie. It's gorgeously shot. This was in my top 3 for a lot of the year, but some movies have kind of gotten above it, and I do see some of the flaws that people do. I can admit that. But I loved this movie. It was so I found it to be unpredictable because, I mean, look at the beginning and then look at the ending. Like, did you really think that was going to happen? No. Yeah, it's long, at about 2 hours and 26 minutes, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole time because I was so invested in what was going on. Dane DeHaan did a great job in this movie. Also, the cinematography it's worth seeing alone. It's beautiful. The whole movie is gorgeously shot. A lot of people probably skipped this movie, so if you did, check it out. My number 7 is The Meyerowitz Stories, new and selected. This is one of the almost perfect film. I love this movie. I adored it. It has fantastic performance. Some of the best performance of the year from Adam Sandler. Gives one of the best performances of the year, along with Ben Stiller, Dustin Hoffman. All 3 of them are fantastic in this movie. They are all they're perfect in this movie. So good. I can't say anything. I can't say enough about it. I absolutely loved it. I've seen it twice now, and both times it was fantastic to me. It's on Netflix, so it's easily accessible. So please give it a viewing. I loved every second of it. It's tragic and beautiful, and it's so good. It's so good. Please, you can tell this might. I don't know if this would be higher on my list. This list was so hard to make, but this is a fantastic movie. Please see it. Please see it. My number 6 is Molly's Game. Now, this movie I actually saw yesterday, and I don't know if I'm just really excited about it, but I loved every second of it. Aaron Sorkin has done it again with his fantastic writing, and in this one he directed it too, and he did a great job directing. You can definitely see the Fincher influence on him from when he worked with him on The Social Network. And this movie is just, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it feels like an hour. It was constantly moving, always moving forward, and it's such an interesting story. It's so sometimes you see movies and you're like, do we really need a movie about that? But this one, I mean, yeah, it's a phenomenal story and it's incredible. Also, Idris Elba's in it. Finally, he's in a good movie. With Dark Tower and The Mountain Between Us this year, he was not doing great. But this one, he's great in. Jessica Chastain probably deserves an Oscar nomination. Aaron Sorkin deserves, this is probably the best script of the year in my opinion. Aaron Sorkin deserves an Oscar for this script. It is phenomenal. It's fast-paced. It's everything you would expect from Aaron Sorkin. It's only been out for a little bit, so definitely check it out if you can. My number 5 is Mother. Now, I loved this movie when it came out. I saw it in theaters, and a lot of people find it terrible and disturbing and disgusting, but I think it's incredible the way Darren Aronofsky tells this story. Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem both give phenomenal performances in this twisted, wacky movie, but if you pay attention and do your research afterwards and understand what they were going for, it's nothing short of remarkable what they pulled off. Darren Aronofsky probably deserves an Oscar nomination for how well he directed this movie. They're not going to give it to him, of course, because it's the Oscars. It's alright. I hate the Oscars. My number 4 is Brigsby Bear. Now, this is probably one you haven't even heard of, but this movie blew me away. It is so heartfelt and charming and beautifully done that, oh my god, I loved every second of it in the theater. It's probably the funniest movie of the year. I saw this movie at 10 o'clock in the morning on, I don't know what day I saw it. I was the only person in the theater, and I laughed so much, and I was able to laugh out loud because I was the only person. I was laughing every 5 minutes. It was so funny. It's so charming and well done. You should definitely check this one out if you haven't. You probably haven't, because it was kind of an indie release that got a kind of small theater run, but it is so good, and I could not recommend it enough. Please check this out if you haven't. My number 3 is Logan. This is the Wolverine movie that fans have been dreaming of for years. It's violent, it is unapologetic, and it is a really fantastic movie. Hugh Jackman gives his best performance as Wolverine, possibly his best performance ever. He's phenomenal in this movie. James Mangold does a great job of directing. Patrick Stewart did his best job ever as this character. He was absolutely phenomenal. Everybody in this movie was great. This is one that improved upon rewatches. When I saw it in theaters, I liked it a lot. The second time I saw it, I liked it just a little less. And then the third time, I liked it more than any time I'd ever seen it. It's so good. It's tragic, but it is wonderfully done. And it's probably my favorite X-Men movie. My number 2 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, this is probably the most controversial film on here, maybe besides Mother, but I loved this movie. The first time I saw it is probably my second favorite theater experience behind my number 1 of all time. I was so excited. This is the first time I've been to the opening of a Star Wars movie. I loved this movie. I found the choices to be very bold, and as I said earlier, it was unpredictable, and that's all I want, is something to just take me on a journey that I do not see coming. And there are parts in this movie that I did not see coming. The first act is a little slow. The first time I saw it, the first act is a little slow, and then once you hit certain things, it's just like boom, it is taking off, and it is a incredible journey all the way through. And I've seen it 3 times now, and the second time I saw it, I found the first act less boring because I knew what it was leading to and I could appreciate it for that. And then the third time I saw it, I loved it again. I absolutely loved it. The first time I saw this movie, I cannot explain to you. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. My jaw was open. I absolutely loved it. Daisy Ridley, Mark Hamill, John Boyega, everybody did a great job in this movie. Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, of course, she did a phenomenal job. My only issue is Rose. I don't like Rose at all. She annoys me. You've probably heard a lot of people say this, but this would be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for a few very small problems I have. This is like my second favorite Star Wars movie, right behind Empire. I absolutely love this movie. Alright, here we go. Number 1, if you know me, you know what's coming. The movie that gave me the best theater experience I've ever had in my life, that kept me on the edge of my seat, shaking in my chair, is Dunkirk. As I said it before, this is the best theater experience I've ever had in my life. I can't be exaggerated. It was so fantastic. I loved every second of this movie, and every second I was on the edge of my seat like this. From the opening scene to the ending, it's non-stop action. And I don't mean action like I mean action as in fast-paced moving story, and it's just constantly going forward. It has some of the best movie moments of the year in it. This movie made me cheer, this movie made me cry, and it made me shake in my chair. It was absolutely phenomenal. If you see this movie, buy it, take it home, sit in front of your TV, turn the speakers up, and just sit and stare, and I promise you, you will be riveted. Alright, that is it. Wow. It's been a great year for movies. Been a great year. I don't see bad movies too often. I kind of just go to movies, and if they're bad, they end up being bad, but I don't seek out every movie, even if it's bad. I only seek out the ones that I really want to see or I think are going to be good. But that doesn't mean I didn't end up with some stinkers this year. So I will have a worst of the year list, but for now, I'm happy with my top 15 as well as my honorable mentions of 2017. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me this year as I kind of got my channel started. Please leave a comment on what your favorite movies were, what you think of my list, what you think should have been on it, what you think shouldn't have been on it. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I think that's about it. And I will see you in the new year. Thank you.